Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights from the LCK Spring 2025.
Very happy about that one, as aiming is going to reload, and that is DNF. Just shooting after him. There's the flash forward. Beryl going to be the target. Deadly Flourish doesn't do anything, and he's just knocked back and destroyed.
The kill does go over to life, and I think that's the one happy thing you could say if you are a Dplus fan about what just went down there. Over here.
Yeah, Dudu is going to get the first rotation over as Pyosik is in trouble. That's a solo kill as Lucid's looking for even more. Snip, snip goes to Gwen, and the flash out from Lucid. He was playing with him the whole time.
I think the good news...
Well, DNF know that the grubs aren't spawning for another 20 seconds. That's to do with vision and with a timer they have access to. So this is potentially a Rift Herald as far as the next objective on this top side is concerned.
I feel like Pyosik has spent a majority of this game looking, like running around being like, there's nothing here for me to get or do.
Ooh, seismic shove going to come in. There's a Magnus Storm onto 3, which is working out pretty well, but special delivery of life towards Showmaker, and he's going to be the first one to go down. Spirit Rush going to do that, and that's the reset here for the Ahri. Even more mobility available, so they're not going to be
an objective like this. They have Prio. His Ocean Dragon is looking like it is theirs for the taking. Lucid looking for a steal.
Yeah, does manage to move on over. It is Pyosik locking down the smite though, but there's the slow. Beryl, he's on a ward, but he's looking for a pole under 3, and he'll find it. In they go, and the circles are everywhere. Magnus Storm's decent, but not decent enough, and it's the Crescent Guard that's going to stop any of the extra damage. Shiu taking matters into his own hands. Snip, snip, running with scissors is real dangerous. Is now Showmaker looking for Berserker, and he finds the charm. Public Execution is actually just going to be walked out of the way of, but the flash in from Dudu will complete the kill. So they get one. But 1 for 4 ain't really great.
Yeah, 1 for 4 plus Herald plus mid turret. Anything else? No, I think that's the end of the infomercial.
Situation. Shiu is going to make use of the fact that there is a man disadvantage for Dplus on the top side to just take things down as Beryl is behind enemy lines.
And he's like, you know, maybe I'm thinking I'm not going back to the turret. Let me get over to this wall and get on my surfboard, and I'll see you guys in game 2, because this one looks like it is. And that's why things like this happen, where this dragon just gets taken with no contest whatsoever, because DNF know there is no dream world scenario where they could ever walk up and try to stop that.
Yeah, control ward goes down as Beryl looks to grab a little bit of control, but you can see it's just a cheeky little ward here.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we have seen Jace be relatively good, as Bulldog is instantly going to flash, as Beryl dealing with some rocks, but just holds onto the CC as best he can. He's standing in front of everyone, and there's the Pulverize finally, waiting for them to line up, as Life Magnus Storms, it looks cute, but it's a double kill for Lucid in the end. Pyosik, he's going to be
halfway up the top lane without a total collapse. By the way, who's being shadowed by her jungler and her support. Means that, I mean, the game is just unplayable, and Dplus just go, oh, we're on the top side, because guess what the objective is? Top side Otacon. That's mine now as well.
Yeah, and they should be able to question.
Every time Pyosik smites and secures any jungle, you take it as a W. It's the best you can get.
Yep. Well, this could be a red buff. We'll just have to see as Chains of Corruption go wide. Beryl now looking for an angle, and he's going to take that seismic shove as an engage, and he probably shouldn't, because he's just going to get withdrawn. That is going to be a red buff going on over as Shiu looking to try and get out of there. The needlework is scary, but he's going to go home as well. Public Execution is going to get a flash out from aiming, and Dudu may have overextended, but does have the wall for backup. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly not how you're supposed to use the Otacon, because it's a lot of money going over to DNF. Unless Showmaker can find the angle, these health bars are getting lower and lower. Orbit Deception takes out the Talia, and Shiu looking to come back. Pyosik was there, buddy, but he's found a minion wave, and he'd prefer to take that.
And Dplus are like, surely they won't bring 5 people.
Oh god, Dudu might just be dead here, as Shiu is just going to flash on top of him. That's going to be Lucid. Win becomes lightning, becomes murder. Here on the bottom side of the map as Showmaker pushing in mid, and yeah,
he did end up damaging this turret a lot. It is going to go down here ultimately anyways. But like, that's the best DNF can hope for, is go, oh, okay, Dplus is going to try to pressure us here on the bottom side around the red buff. That's the only thing, and then he comes over here and helps clean up the fight. And it looked pretty good for DNF, except that you consider that, or except when you consider they had to bring 5 people to do that, and they only got withdraws.
Well, there's the engage from Beryl as he's diving in amongst 4 people. Dudu has been discovered on the side though, and Showmaker's there to lock him down. Speaking of which, curtains have been called as this Ahri is doing so much work. Tavares able to take down the Cow though to start this one off. However, there goes Pioshik. The Gwen starting to get completely out of control, and I say starting, continuing to get completely out of control.
Trying their best to find anything, any angle, any opportunity, but look at this. Is anyone threatening the Jhin as he just shoots
doing
bullets?
a whole bunch of work. You can see Shu just standing away and buffing them up so they can get the work done. Bulldog is able to clean up the siege minion here, but there is another conga line moving forward as Lucid looks for the wind becomes lightning as Showmaker goes golden. I don't know about this one as in goes life. Magnet Storm is going to be safe, but just the Ahri is there are the knockups. Oh my god, Pioshik is indeed Paperman in this game as Showmaker is dashing forward. He'll find a seismic shove, and honestly, feels like it kind of worked for Dplus as Bulldog has the curtains called, does manage to win the game of TDR in the end. But not the game of League of Legends.
Oh, wrong game.
Oh no, in fact he is just going to die as he tries to wall his way back towards his friends. And the Nexus will explode. Dplus, a shellacking in game.
Do the same thing by just putting bushes everywhere and then you can't see and then you can't move forward and the shock blasts come out and it's not fun to play them. This isn't really the most ideal. The takeaway from this should be like, wow, Dplus can win with anything, or like, are we sure they're good at drafting? Like, I don't know.
Oh, there's a flash cocoon. The Eclipse is making it hard to get through Beryl, but they're doing a decent job. Life also taking some damage as Bulldog's gonna get the flash out of aiming, and Beryl is gonna get off the rift.
He did choose to play Leona into Elise.
He did. And
now
make
he's
that
paying to
choice.
start this dragon because they don't have mid prio, they don't have bottom prio. And
okay, Life gonna have to go up into the sky, I think, relatively quickly. There's that double up that we were looking for, and Life just gonna have to come straight back down. Daisy gonna join Beryl in bopping that spider on the noggin. And Daisy,
no other objective. Let's see if he can figure it out.
well, see whether the harpoon lands first, and it does not. Pioshik gonna take a while as Rukola comes in. There's the equalizer to stop his escape. He does have to skate all the way down it, but he is pretty tanky, so he will survive.
But
and there goes even the LTA. They'd probably be like, nah, I've earned.
Berserker, how far up
Oh dear. Well, he's gonna have to flash, and then he's gonna die, ladies and gentlemen. In goes aiming, finds the angle, and takes down the Caitlyn. So Berserker just...
It is, yeah.
That's
it's
actually
the
really
SK
cute.
Telecom one, yeah.
Yeah, shouting out to the coach on the other side. All right, Dudu not gonna really find too much here as she is just continuing to cook. Does find an equalizer angle as that harpoon's going to land. I don't think Dudu's dead, but you know, he's scared. Will be pushed away as
he
the
was
Ivan
very
comes
warmed
down.
up. Microwaved.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Solar Flare going to connect onto Live here as I don't think they'll have enough chain CC. As in comes Pioshik, good flash out from Beryl, who's looking to try and sidestep, wants to find an angle here, I guess, but instead just going to die. And Bulldog going to collect that kill. Pioshik happy to tank up the turret, and out goes Showmaker.
And they have a teleport.
Yeah, Beryl moving in, going to get cocooned by Life. Not too much more is going to be found. So far, Shu actually having a pretty good time. Does have that Leandries like you were talking about. It is Spirit Visage completed by Dudu. But not too much more going to come out of it. There goes.
I do think at some point they will have to actually fight. They will have to contest an objective. They can't just give this dragon over for free, surely.
They have to fight at some point. Okay, here it is. Find the angle onto Beryl. He does have a lot of tools here as the bullet time comes on in. Solar Flare is going to lock down Berserker, and then he's cooked. Now Dudu looking for a little bit of an angle. Who is he going to go all out on? That's the question. As the feats of strength have come in, he actually just pulls Beryl to Narnia, but he might need to use that as an opportunity to get the heck out of Dodge. As Dplus just push them out of their own jungle and look to head over toward in the middle of the lane so that Showmaker came down and took it. Instead, Showmaker goes over and helps out with the Dragon.
I mean, the speed at which they can clear this is decent, but it's not fast enough. I mean, there will be a contest from Dplus.
Yep, in comes Baron, and now it's going to be a 50-50. Lucid in position. Daisy getting amongst it as well as the equalizer. Surely going to come down, and there it is. Perfect position as well as Dudu's wandering down it. It is still just going to be that 50-50 on the Otacon. We'll see who manages to pick it up as Pioshik able to get the smite, but immediately 4 of them are recalled. Make that 5, and did Dplus say, well, you guys are back in base, maybe we'll just take Baron. Life down to 50%, it's in goes Beryl, okay. Pioshik not wanting to engage onto him, but Beryl looks for an angle, and he is going to die. Equalizer going to be the answer as aiming just flashes away from Bulldog. Bulldog not going to be in too much trouble, though, as the rest of DK now on the engage. Pioshik finds an impale, but unfortunately he's skewered himself, and Showmaker takes that as an opportunity to go forward. Dudu going to be the result of that aggression, and Bulldog has to go back into his base to try and dodge the shock blast. He does so, but now aiming is just dashing after his opposition with impunity.
Mega Blast Cone, that's the kind that Valdez likes.
Yeah, it's the engage cone, Wolf. Valdez is even okay with that, as Berserker gonna have to flash, but then he has no way out of this one. Bulldog comes on over and does lop down the tree, but then he just gets burnt as Showmaker's in the mid lane, and this game is an absolute disaster. Yeah. That is an ace in trade for Lucid.
White is way more playable here for DNF. But Berserker, he has 1 Q. That's all he was able to do in this fight. He's so isolated on the other side that this is not looking good for DNF.
Well, the equalizer certainly follows suit on that one. Beryl continuing to do what he wants as aiming is impaled, lasts for a very long time, as now Bulldog also in trouble. Duda goes in, and it's Chiu that's actually the main damage as he flashes forward and barbecues the whole team. There's a Quadra, he's looking for a Penta as he goes golden at the last possible moment, and there is the Pentakill for Chiu.
The shield! I told you it was the Rumble Ivern comp! It's the Rumble Ivern comp! He went Riftmaker Leandres, he did it! We solved it, it was a comp, Atlas! It was real!
He was the AD carry all along, and there, I guess, it was just what you said. You weren't even being facetious.